In the past few days, Palestinian militants have fired a mass barrage of rockets into Israel, including on Tel Aviv.
Rockets far into Israel.
The air raid sirens sound. Yet again, Israelis run for cover. And the reach of Hamas seems to be extending further and further into Israel.
Coronavirus exploding coast to coast, tidal wave growing every day. Where some hospitals are already full.
World surpassing 1 million deaths from the coronavirus.
There have been so many different circumstances in the land of Israel. Thank God, one of the things that the yeshiva has continued the entire time is to ensure that the guys are able to continue learning.
I remember at the end of May of last year, there was a war that broke out between Israel and Gaza. Gaza was sending over rockets towards Ashdod. The yeshiva decided to move the Batei Medrash from the main base Medrash to the Miklat in the door building in order to make sure that we stayed safe both physically, so we were in a miklat, and spiritually, so that we would be able to continue learning without having to run out for sirens. We made the miklat look like a base medrash. We brought in svarim, and the yeshiva made sure that there were regular starim, regular shiurim. Rabbi Zatz set up, there would be a cycle of Tehillim that was said every time a rocket went off, that everyone would be able to complete the full Sefer Tehillim, that there would be 24/7 learning. There would always be somebody learning in the miklat. I remember someone hung up a sign on the door that said our slogan at that time, which was Beis Medrash Nosenes Chaim Losa, the Beis Medrash that gives life to those that do it. And that was really KBY that helped us do that.
Aside from COVID, out of nowhere, suddenly there are sirens and there are rockets. What are we going to do? Well, we have to figure out a situation, we have to figure out a solution. So we immediately move the guys into a miklat. We immediately move the guys into a shelter for the simple idea, for the simple purpose of allowing them to continue shigra, allow them to continue their schedule, to continue learning so that the learning never stops. This is something that's not only because the yeshiva feels it's important, but our guys as well.
Well, in context of Torah never ending, I still remember during the first Lebanon war, that's quite a while ago actually, the first years of my career in KBY, I had this student, an Israeli boy, who was very close to me. I remember he was drafted, and one day I get a postcard, I think he was in Beirut at the time, and say, he's learning this Tosfos, the beginning of Masechet Makot, he's got a problem, and then he stops. And then, then I get like another, if it continues that postcard, it says, well, Hayapo Harasha, there was bombing over here, so I really couldn't continue. And this, I don't recall exactly, it must have been hours later, where he continues writing the question. Now this went on for, I think, like 3 or 3 postcards, where he continuously had to stop, obviously for military reasons, and he just continued asking the question. For me, this was an indication of successive education, so it's very easy, really very easy, believe me, to create a person who just learns all day. That's the easiest thing to do, okay? Try creating somebody which is putting his life on the line and he's in the middle of a battle and he thinks about the Tosfos. That, my friends, is KBY. That's the story of what we've done and will do further in KBY.
In Milchemet HaMifratz, in the Gulf War, then we had masks, which you've probably seen pictures of, that are a bit more massive. In light of the fact that we never knew when something would be coming, we needed to carry around those masks, bring them to Shir, bring them to the Beis Medrash. But nevertheless, the learning went on. Shurim continued. I remember, as for me, a very special memory that Dr. Lam Alav Shalom came with a group of students from YU to be mechazek, to strengthen the yeshiva. I think they called it Operation Torah Shield. That was very beautiful to see the solidarity of the students at YU and the students at KBY studying together, being involved in Torah, which you understand protects the Jewish people, in fact, and makes us worthy of God's salvation.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic with more than 118,000 cases across 114 countries.
Last year, due to the COVID situation, I happened to be in Bidud for about 50 days. And it was amazing to see how the yeshiva pushed us to keep our continuity and learning going through everything. And to be in a room, either alone or with another person, for 50 days is not a simple thing. But to know that you're part of a broader yeshiva that cares about you and that wants you and that pushes you to keep on striving to meet those goals in learning, to keep on striving to not let anything get in the way of where you are in your learning and to grow further.
One of the times we went home, we came back from home, one of the commanders came out with COVID. He was sick. What that meant for us is a whole unit, all the guys, 100 guys got put into quarantine. Got put into quarantine on base. That meant that we had 10 guys in one room for 2 weeks, locked up. Now, one of the things we learned in KBY, and we took it upon with us from KBY, is whenever you have free time, go sit and learn. And we took the time to learn from the booklet, learn Gemara that the yeshiva was learning, then Gittin. We learned from the booklet, and not waste the time on our phone. That's one of the main things we picked up from KBY. So when you have the free time, go sit and learn, and don't waste your time doing other stuff.
I've joined them on Tiyulim, down to Eilat, up north to the Golan. And one of the most beautiful things to see is, sometimes in the middle of a Tiyul, you get to a point where we have to go down a ladder. We have to climb up an area that's a little bit too narrow, and you have to go one by one. And there's a group in front of us. So suddenly we have a good 15, 20 minutes that we're gonna have to wait. What do the guys do? Out of nowhere, I look to the side, this one has a chavrusa. This one's learning Gemara. This one's reviewing Ramban al Chumash. It's unbelievable to watch how the guys want to take advantage of every single minute that they have. No matter where, they're going to make sure that they have a sefer ready to take advantage of and to learn. So too the yeshiva. The yeshiva also, no matter what the circumstance, no matter what situation occurs in Israel, we are going to ensure that the guys are able to take advantage of every single minute. Whether that means capsules, building this, going to other Batei Midrashos, or whether it means to move them all into a miklat, that they will be able to continue learning, that is what the yeshiva does. We make sure that the learning will never stop.